This is the HD6XX that came out in 2016, a cult classic, a vocal powerhouse, and it's a lot of people's favorite headphone. But after 8 years, how does it stack up in 2024 against some of the highly competitive IEMs, and which one is better value-wise? Headphones or IEMs? Starting with the sound, the 6XX has a very intimate vocal presentation. The mids are very forward, very full. There's enough body and note weight when it comes to the male and female singers, and it's not husky or warm either, nor is it like bright leaning or sparkly or sharp. The vocals are pretty neutral and well balanced, but just forward as if the singers are right next to you, on the tracks, which I absolutely love. Now there is a noticeable sub-bass roll-off. It's not great for hip-hop, J-pop, K-pop, EDM. The low end texture isn't that resolving. The impact isn't that great. Like, it's okay, it's average. You're not going to hear the air like reverb in the slam from the drivers. It's a very linear and tame bass shelf, and it does the job. Same with the treble, it's there, but it's more in the background. It's not too forward, not the main star of the show. The 6XX isn't going to be sparkly and like super clean, super sharp in its resolution and in its imaging. Again, it's fine, pretty neutral in the highs as well, but where it shines is in the vocals. Now, many of you guys know that I am a vocals kind of guy. I love to crank up my music, and we're talking at least like 85 decibels here. So I love having the singers right next to me where I can hear all the detail and the nuances in their voices. So with this in mind, when I did put on the 6XX again after like 3 years or so of not hearing them, I was genuinely surprised at how good they still are. They scale very well, actually very good for high volume listening, not fatiguing even at higher volumes, which allows you to like tap into that zone of immersion and just, be lost in your music. As a comparison, the Softears RSV is one of my favorite vocal earphones, headphones, or just any audio product in general when it comes to vocals. It's full, it's powerful, the vocals are fully extended, it's open, no congestion, but the end transients of the notes also have the like slight edge to them that adds that just enough air and detail to kind of give you that color from being completely neutral and balanced. And listening to the RSV is like kind of getting hit by a powerful beam of light from the sound like directly at you. It's an intense experience, but also incredibly immersive and very musical. The 6XX on the other hand is more similar to the light outside, like landing softly on you when you walk outside instead of getting hit by a powerful beam of light straight on. The vocals aren't as intense and extended. It's less clear, it's a little bit like veiled in the attack, it's softer, and the treble and the upper mids aren't as resolving and detailed, giving the 6XX that more laid back and smoother vocal presentation. Now, even though that's the case, both are still very intimate in their vocal presentation. They have a very forward type of sound, and the difference is that the 6XX is just more chill in the final extensions. It doesn't linger on as long in the notes, and it's not as powerful and not as resolving as the RS5. In terms of the low end, the RS5 also has better extension in the sub bass where you can hear the low end texture better. It has like more bass in general. It's a little bit more detailed. It's still well controlled, but slightly warmer than the 6XX, but it's still nicely balanced out by the upper mids and the treble, as well as the more extended vocals. As for the treble detail is also clearer and you hear it better on the RS5. The cymbal decay and the air is more extended as well. The imaging is just also sharper, along like with the attack and the transients. Basically, if you took the 6XX and you took the veil off that's kind of blunting the resolution and the details, and you just added more upper mids to really allow the vocals to like extend and linger on longer, you would get the RS5. So if you like that forward vocal presentation on the 6XX and just want a better resolution, then the direct upgrade to it would be the RS5. The 6XX is essentially just like a mini RS5, and it makes sense since the RS5 is like 3 times more, right? And just a side note, I tested the 6XX on my topping G5, which is well than enough for like most IEMs and headphones, so not like those like crazy tube amps. So my experience and my performance of the 6XX is in relation to my topping G5. But before we move on, you guys know the drill. This video is sponsored by you guys. I buy most of my IEMs to review in order to try and stay unbiased as possible, but I don't have a unlimited money glitch. I wish I did, so I do need your support. You can help me out by becoming a channel member. It's only $5 a month, and we do regular giveaways there. But aside from that, back to the video. Now, the real question is, at $200, which is what the 6XX costs, how does it stack up against some of the other IEMs around its price range, like the Nova, the Chopin, the EA 1000s? Well, let's start with the technical performance. In terms of separation, resolution, imaging, a lot of the IEMs are just going to be better value wise when it comes to like pure detail retrieval and just the overall clarity and the resolution. The Nova, the Chopin, the EA1000s, the LM, and even the cheaper planar stuff like the T10, Planar, F1 Pro are all going to be more resolving and sharper in the transients, and the imaging isn't as soft as the 6XX. But that doesn't mean the 6XX is bad in the resolution or anything. It's just not as good as some of the market leaders. You know, it's more on the same level as the CKL-VX, the Pulis, the Performer 5, the Hexa, but just with better vocals. And in my opinion, it does have like one of the best vocals around $200. I really like the forward but still extended vocals better than the traditional ones on the Nova, the Chopin, since those do get like shouty sometimes, and it's just not as immersive because you can't crank them up as much as the 6XX. Scaling wise, the 6XX wins hands down. You can crank these up like way up and just have the vocals blast right in front of your face without any fatigue, because it does have like a softer and smoother transients in the attack. Very immersive, and you know, it gives you that intimate feeling. However, the main issue is that it's open back, and also that the DZ4 also exists, which is basically the 6XX but at like $89 and just not open back, so the sound doesn't leak out. On one hand, the pros to the open back design is that the 6XX does feel more open in its staging, even more than the RS5 and the DZ4. For example, when I cover like the venting of like the speakers, the sound noticeably gets like closer and more in your head. But the downside to the open back design is that everyone else can hear your music and you can't really listen to these in public. So in terms of overall convenience and comfort, for me personally, I prefer the form factor of IEMs much better. It's lighter, it doesn't clamp your head, it fits better for me personally, it doesn't get sweaty, you know, it's more convenient when you need to go somewhere, or you know, if you just want to lie down and listen, because like you can't put these on and lie down. It's very hard and uncomfortable to do with the 6XX, or like when you have like, you know, hats, I try putting them on, it's a pain in the ass, right? But most importantly, the sound doesn't leak out on the IEM, which means you can take them out in public and you know, you're not bothering other people with their music. I mean, if you don't care, then sure, but like, you're a menace. Just know that you're a menace. Drivability wise, these 6XX are pretty easy to drive. I can run these off my phone and the laptop, no issue, but I would recommend them on the phone because the amps kind of like, I don't know if they're not powerful enough on the phone, but like it feels more closed in than versus like on the laptop or like a external DAC amp, whatever, right? They're also fairly light and not super tight on my skull like the Sundara, or like some of the more expensive headphones like the LCDs. They're like super heavy and super like hot. It gets super hot with the pads. So comfort wise, these are actually pretty good, but still it's not gonna beat something lighter at like a fraction of its size, where like it doesn't like cover your entire ear and your face. But overall, the 6XX is still a good pair of headphones even in 2024. You know, it's not perfect, it's not that resolving, there's a sub bass roll off and all that, but if you want something relaxing, neutral, vocal centric, and you have fit and comfort issues with the IEMs, then yeah, these are still great even after 8 years. And if you're not like going out anywhere and you're okay with the sound leaking out, stage wise, these are also better than the IEMs. However, if you're in public or you can't have the sound leaking out and you can fit IEMs, you find them to be like more comfortable, then maybe try the DZ4. They sound very similar, and in my opinion, it's the better overall value if you're taking into account the convenience factors as well, even though the DZ4 isn't going to be as open in like the head stage as the 6XX. But yeah, I hope this review was helpful. You know, feel free to give it a shot if you do want to try headphones. But aside from that, that's it for today. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see everyone in the next one. Shout out to Jeff Young, RawX Cat, Dom Q, Star Buccaneers, Joel Pink, Discall Scaldus, B_Urac, Mystic Spoon Attack, Oh Really, Walker Standard, User, Ernest, Contain Guava Juice Gain, Patrick, Bell Cell Kel, Rosa the Kelf, Perry Jat, Polly, Mr. Gorillas, Anto Risto, Gis Seng Young, Tomat Pafrache, Ed, Harry, Christopher, Federico, Name, and Henry. Thank you guys so much for the support.